how did being a multi-sport athlete influence your football career?
Right, I just think having versatility, it allows you to be more well-rounded. Now, I look at it as an example of exposing yourself to different things that you may not be comfortable with. I didn't want to run track. I only ran track because my dad said it helped me as an athlete. There was daylights on me because I felt like I was going to fall. But playing different sports allowed me to, I think, be more versatile in the sport that I was pursuing the most, which was football. And I think that's an example of allowing yourself to see different things and push yourself past like what you think is your comfort levels. Because of my athletic ability, I think that made me a better receiver. And if I can kind of expand on that thought, travel, learn different languages, learn instruments, learn how to sing, dance, act, study politics, study arts, crafts, sing, dance, like do it all, because you never know, like, one, what you're good at until you try 1,000 different things, but when you actually land on what you want to pursue, the more well-rounded person would be more prepared to excel in that space. So yeah, playing multiple sports is just, I think it was a seed that was planted that allowed me to believe the more that you try in life, whether you fail or not, the better you will be on the back end of chasing your dreams.
What advice would you give to young alumni or professional athletes about staying grounded and making meaningful contributions to their old schools and hometowns?
Yeah, I think you have to be anchored in something, because there's a couple of things that can happen in life. One, you can fail and fall, and if you don't have a support system, it's hard for you to get back up and dust yourself off. And you need people to hold you and remind you that you are special and that you are meant to be on this earth and that you are loved and you can be successful. And on the flip side, the reason that you need a good support system, you need to remain grounded, is because when you find success, it's natural. Human nature, start feeling ourselves. We look in the mirror and we think we are, smarter, better, faster, more good looking than we really are. And our head gets blown up and we start to float away. And you need people to occasionally grab you by the back of your jacket and be like, hey, stay grounded. And that's why, having a support system like O'Day and being able to tap into people that know exactly who you are and who you will always be, that's important. That's important.
So following your successful NFL career, you're now a broadcaster and a talk show host. How'd you make the transition between the two?
I started to pursue it at an early age. When I went to college, I remember one class really stood out, and it was speech communications and speech 101. And we had an assignment. We had to speak in front of the class, and it was my first time actually speaking in front of the classroom. And I was very nervous. I prepared all week for it. And I wanted to be the best I could, because it was, as much as I like to talk, I only like talking in a small huddle of people. I didn't like talking to a large group of people. But I remember standing in front of that class, and picking a spot on the wall because I didn't want to make eye contact because it made me nervous, projecting as if the wall was going to hear my voice and then reverberate that through the room. And then because I rehearsed it so many times, it was easy for me to regurgitate it. By the time I got towards the end, I was in my bag, in my rhythm. I was making eye contact, making people laugh. I ended it on a strong note, like it was money. I felt like it was good. And I remember the teacher coming up to me and he said, Nate, you're going to be speaking in front of a lot of people at one point in your life. And I'm like, really? He's like, yeah, you're really good at this. He's like, at some point, you're going to be on TV. And I'm like, really? He's like, yeah. And I never forgot that. And then from there, and that just goes to show you how certain people can plant a seed. From there, I remember going to the league in the NFL, and every team that I was on, I was working closely with their media department. So I either did a radio show or I did a local TV show. I did stuff nationally, stuff locally. I would fly to LA and work at the NFL Network, and they weren't paying me. I just was doing it because I wanted to learn and rub elbows with the right people. The reason I bring all of this up is because it was important for me to pursue media before I was ready for it, because I needed to know my strengths and weaknesses. It's like playing any sport, and that was the beginning of what you see now on TV. People think, oh, it happened overnight. He's on TV. He's doing good. No, I started like really pursuing this 20 years ago. So I've been in and around media for over 2 decades. And to be very clear, I wasn't this version of myself when I first started. It took a long time for me to study the craft, understand my voice, figure out what I wanted to sound like. And now I've found a pretty good spot. I'm not saying I'm perfect. I just know that I'm much better than I was.
With construction,
one more question. Last one.
Right. With construction starting soon on Kohler Field, who was your high school football coach, who just became the winningest high school football coach in Washington.
Shout out to them.
How do you think that will impact students at O'Day?
Listen, there's so many different reasons why people love O'Day. One of the main reasons is because there are so many ties to legacy. And in today's day and age, you see a lot of movement, whether it's players jumping and transferring, moving place to place, coaches leaving for different jobs. But some of the most consistent things that O'Day has to offer are the men and women in the staff, and also the legacy of the programs. And this marries both. Legacy of a man is giving everything to the school, and also the legacy of the athletic program. And what it shows is that O'Day isn't temporary, it's forever. And I think that stamp in that field, honoring him and what he's accomplished, is special.